So we're in Wandsworth, southwest London, revisiting this 4,500 square foot, beautiful 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom house. The kitchen is massive. It's got one of the biggest kitchen islands I've ever seen. I can't wait to show you. Let's go. Thank you very much for letting us into your home. This is absolutely incredible. I'd like to start, we're in the hallway, and I know that we did a lot of work to how these levels are arranged in this staircase, so please talk us through how that operated.
Right, so originally we were 3 flats, and this would have been the raised ground floor. The level we're stood on now would have continued all the way through into the garden. Because we've dug out a basement, we've then played with the levels in between and actually added an extra floor.
Amazing. So huge amount of extra square footage, saleable square footage, which is the key. And I love how light and bright it is. We've got the crystal style doors that light in from that reception room as well, which is great, nice and open plan. And then just at the foot of the stair, as you sort of get a glimpse of the big kitchen island, you've got more crystal doors that let even more light into this hallway and allow you to see all the way through to the rest of the property, which is amazing. Exactly. Cool. So let's have a look in the reception room.
Yeah. Formal living. We kept this as like a quite formal space. Put in a lot of the traditional Victorian features that one may expect to see in this house when it was built originally. Victorian cornicing and Victorian fireplace. But then obviously added our modern amenities, AC, parquet floor.
Underfloor heating, which is lovely, yeah, which I can feel, yeah, very nice. I love the cornicing, the ceiling rose, this light fitting is just, incredible. Where did this come from?
So these are all kind of like bespoke pieces from Italy.
Nice.
Most of the stuff is purchased from online stores.
So in these types of properties, it's on the market at the moment. You've staged the whole house, which looks incredible. Is this stuff that you've sourced yourself? Did you have an interior designer to come in to help with all of this?
Yeah, staging is vitally important. I think that needs to be repeated
Definitely.
To anyone that's in this space. I found over the years that renting is incredibly expensive, and so I've just built up an inventory and fortunately have some space to store it.
Amazing.
When it's not on display.
Yeah.
So we just kind of churn over that from property to property.
But like you say, I think the important thing is that people can see themselves living in it, and having furniture like this laid out is a great way of doing that. Awesome. Let's head on through to the kitchen.
Yeah. So there's a little like storage nook there just for coats and shoes as we walk in.
Great.
And then come down and we have WC.
Wow, very nice.
Just something a bit more playful.
Yeah, love this.
People in southwest London they like everything's quite muted, but the WC is their one space.
A little bit of extravagance.
Yeah.
Very nice. And all of this Sanitaryware, where's that from?
It's all from Lusso stone.
Lusso stone?
The entire property.
Amazing. And this is all chosen by yourself?
Chosen by myself.
Very good.
Specified by me.
Yeah.
And sourced. For me personally, the fun part, the creative part of development and construction is the finishes, the designing of the interiors.
Yeah.
So why give that job to someone else?
Very good. So before we get into this amazing space, it would be great for our viewers to understand a little bit more about yourself. You're a property developer. How long have you been doing it? Give us a bit of your background.
Right. I've been doing it for 10 years now, a decade.
Wow.
Started off like just with a 1-bedroom flat in Fulham, not too far from here. And I guess the way I describe it, we're just slowly like increasing project size, build cost size. I do it by build cost because you can buy something quite expensive, and if you do very little to it, how much complexity is there in the build? And rather, actually, probably should look at it the other way around. Like you can buy something quite cheap, but if you're constructing something quite large and complex, and so that's just it. It's been an organic process of just buy, sell, pick another project, pick it up and run with it. I'd say the last couple of years, that smooth, organic uptake.
Yeah, it's been more
Taken a bit of
difficult.
a difficult road.
Yep,
But yeah, that's it in summary. Like, I try and keep it like as simplistic as I can.
amazing.
Buy, renovate or build,
And is it typically single units and private homes that you like creating?
so I actually only fell into single dwellings during COVID.
Okay.
And actually, this project was bought with planning risk, but the initial intention was multiple units.
Yep.
It just so happened that the market in this little pocket wanted
Dictated a big single family home, because I know when you first approached us, we were looking at two different options. It was the 5 or 6 flats, how much can we squeeze out of it, or it's the one big private dwelling. And I think I do recall you speaking to a local agent saying that there is a market for this standard, this size of house, which it looks incredible. So well done. So tell us about the kitchen. What are your favourite pieces, and where's it from?
So
And how big is this island, by the way?
So, funnily enough, actually, we reduced the size of the
Okay, yeah. Actually, I do recall it being slightly longer.
It was much bigger.
Yeah.
In terms of when we left it to the interior designer. But I thought, well, one, I never liked that break in the stone, and two, just felt like the space was probably a bit more flexible if we. And quite frankly, it's still big enough.
It's still big, yeah. Yeah. You're not short of space. Yeah.
It gave an option which came from the agent actually, which was there may be a preference to change this area into kind of a little nook, so
TV snug.
Exactly, or a snug, so that parent or caregiver could be watching the children whilst they're preparing some food. So we made it a bit smaller. This dining table could potentially sit over there.
Or rotate around here.
Yeah, that's what we always try and think about, like keeping the space flexible.
Yeah.
So it can meet many people.
The buyers can do exactly what they want for it to have a space that can be flexible around their lives and how they want to use it, which is sensible, very sensible.
Yeah.
I mean, how big is, when you say a break in the marble, at what point does it get too long that a new piece of marble needs to be?
I think standard size slab is 3 meters by 1.5.
Cool.
You can get some jumbo at 3.6 by 1.8.
Yeah.
But anything after that, and you're going to have a seam.
And this is?
This is 3 by 1.5.
3, very good. Yeah. Nice. And the cabinetry, where's that from?
From like a handmade, bespoke English shaker, kitchen maker.
Yep. Please tell me that's a larder type.
So this is fridge freezer.
Fridge freezer. Very nice. Yeah, which everyone absolutely loves. This is nice oak interiors, marble tops.
And actually, so we kind of needed to do this because, well, you can't see it now, but our underfloor heating manifold is hidden behind there.
Nice. I mean, perfect use of space. And Miele appliances, is that Miele throughout? So Miele hob as well, or is this a different? Yeah, okay, Miele hob. Downdraft extractor.
That's it, yeah. I think that whole
Very
extractor hoods above is long gone now. So
very nice. And this marble, quartz, okay. Particular style. I was going to say it looks like a bit of a Calcutta type marble, but it's a quartz from Italy, or wherever it's made. Don't know.
So with stone, it is a bit of a tricky one because in this expensive kitchen, one might assume that you'd go for marble. But I opted against it, not due to cost, due to practicality. People may not realise how impractical it is to have a marble worktop. And you see it in these £100,000 kitchens. But they're not really being used because they're so porous.
It marks, so
any little mark.
Wine, any juice, anything,
and you're stuck with it.
I've recently seen, on social media, sample test where you've got marble, you've got silestone, you've got the quartz, and pouring different liquids and stuff and seeing the difference. And I didn't realise until seeing this that actually marble, like you say, is incredibly porous and it does just soak up all of those nasties. So, good choice. And this is a 6-bed, 5-bathroom house. It's not going to be lived in by an old couple. Somebody's going to buy this as a family house.
Yeah.
So you need the practicalities of having family-friendly materials as well. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. For London, this is the typical market is kind of 35 to 45.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of buyer that's going to buy this.
Yep.
2 young children or more or less, but
Yep.
around that kind of average. So it needs to be super practical for a young family.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm noticing something on the wall there. Can you tell everyone what...
Which one of those are pointing to? Yeah.
This one?
So that's an Automist system. So that would detect fire, and I've never seen it in action.
Yeah.
But it would apparently spray water
Pop down
directly at it. So it's like a bit more of a technologically advanced than the sprinklers where it just sprays everything with water.
Yeah.
But that has allowed us to keep this all open and essentially not have to fit fire rated
glazing.
Glazing.
Yeah, which is sensible. And do you know how much that sort of thing costs?
Yeah, so this was completely a cost exercise in terms of like why we decided to opt for this, because we could have not and put Crittle there.
Yeah.
Or we could put that and then we don't have to put Crittle, we can put Crittle Start.
Yeah.
So I think this was around £7,000, but that saved me maybe 15,000.
Yeah, by not having genuine Crittle fire doors, which, I mean, fire glazing, I think, is about £1,500 per square metre, whereas a normal is, £500 a square metre. So that's a big big Cool. And there's one here. And are there any other ones in the property?
There's
one in there.
4 in this room.
Okay, cool.
And there's 1 in the formal living.
1, 2, 3. Got it. Yeah. Just to give that fire spread, basically.
We're protecting the hallway and the staircase.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And we've got a huge piece of glazing above us, which we can't walk past and not talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, this lets in so much light. I don't recall. Which way is south?
I think south that's west is there, so I think south is over here.
Just there, yeah. So this is going to let in so much light in the summer
Even like
when the sun is out.
Look at it. Even
Yeah,
on
yeah.
a gloomy day like this, when you're stood here, and especially when you're stood
Lets
in the
light
basement.
down into there as well.
Yeah. So it's 12 square meters. And,
You know how much that one cost? You recall?
I think somewhere in the region of 20.
Yeah.
20,000.
I mean, to me, that might sound like a lot of money, but actually, like the amount of added value it brings to this space and down below, and even if you were roofing that in a normal flat roof, it might still cost you 12, 14 grand in actual materials to do a flat roof that isn't glazing. So to get the extra value of having all of this light and the sense of airiness that you get, it's just well worth paying for.
Yeah. Having said that, I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I mean, I wouldn't put it in any other project.
No. Has to be worth it.
Yeah. So head down to basement level.
So this is completely fresh dig.
Completely fresh from all the way back there, actually. We had a natural lower ground floor, which we've kept at the front.
Yep.
And of course, where we are, it's a simple commercial calculation. The more space, the higher the value.
Yep.
Up to a certain point.
And basements, you might pay £300 to £400 a square foot to dig a basement, but in areas where you're £8,000-9,000 a square foot, that's an easy math to do. You're getting double your money back on the spend, which is great. Before we start walking around, we did actually visit this site in August 2023. At the point in which this was a freshly dug basement, there was tanking going on the walls and the structure was just going up. This was a void effectively before the staircase was installed. So if you want to check out that mid-construction video, then check it out over here. Let's have a look around this basement space. So we've got a study.
Yeah, so I think one of the key things to always keep in mind when building a basement in terms of design is to break up the space. Like it's very easy to end up with one big
massive
open space, which is quite hard to use. So we opted, put an office in this section, still keeping the flow and kind of the connection back to the rest of the space with the use of this style of joinery.
And these light fittings, do you know where they were from? Are they Astro?
These are Astro.
They are Astro lighting. Yeah, we use Astro quite a lot. We love them. They do look great. And have you got the same lighting throughout, or is there a mix of different styles?
Mix of different styles. We use Astro. These are, so because we've got a RC concrete terrace, we can't have any.
Got it. So they're surface mounted rather than recessed.
Exactly, yeah. Otherwise we'd have to lower this whole ceiling.
Sensible. Very good. Cool. And then I can see an amazing feature of this basement, which I know was a key thing that you wanted from day one, which is this wine room.
Right, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that.
I think, for me, probably more of a box-ticking exercise for what people may come to expect in a house of this size and at price level. I kind of feel like I hope and think that they'll probably be looked upon in years to come as kind of like, oh, why those silly people in the early 2020s and
why did they have them?
2010s. Why did they have them? I think,
Get turned into something different, you reckon?
I think so. Yeah. I just think if it was me and it was my house, I'd probably use this space as like a sauna, cold plunge.
Yeah.
Something a bit more health conscious.
Nice. Very good. Yeah. That's what the youth of the day want. Yeah. Cool. And originally, I think on our design, this was actually a bit bigger, wasn't it? And during the build process, it was just too big, and there's no need to be any bigger than this size, basically.
Yeah, so it was all the way up to that doorway. This glass was all the way across.
Yep.
I think the storage capacity is just over 900 bottles.
Okay.
As is.
Yeah.
So God knows what.
That's a lot. That's a lot to drink, isn't it?
What it would have been if it was.
That's some good evenings.
Yeah.
Cool. Great. And this is an amazing feature. Is this structural?
No.
This is just feature fireplace with the bioethanol.
Bioethanol, exactly. No flue. No worrying about routing toxic gases because there are none.
Yeah.
It's completely environmentally
friendly, sustainable. Very good. Amazing. So just sneak onto this side of the fireplace. You've got a nice snug area, big TV on the wall. I mean, this is such a nice area just to sit and chill.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it's meant to be, right? People need to come in and feel like, see themselves and their family, like sit down and, I think, at this day and age, that's what we do, right? We kind of congregate around television.
Yeah. For good or for bad.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing I do love about this is, the big sliding doors behind us. Even though we are a basement level down, there's so much lateral light coming in from those, but also that roof light that we talked about above, just letting so much light down that staircase, which is incredible.
Yeah, I think it's quite easy to say, oh, why don't I have a bit more space and have a little bit of a smaller light well, but it has such a huge impact on the way this room feels.
Yeah.
It goes from being a room in the basement and that office as well, to feeling more like a lower ground floor space, especially like you mentioned, like with it.
Before we walk past it, there's lots of stuff on the wall here, which is great. That just came on with the wave of a hand, which is amazing. So this is a Crestron lighting control system. So tell us what this does.
So that is the user interface to the whole home automation system. So we've got lighting, heating, CCTV, doorbell, all integrated.
Video intercom, does that?
Video intercom as well. Of course, accessible by the phone. So just like your one-stop shop for anything to do with your household.
AV.
That's it.
So, question, and to be honest, I don't really know the answers to this. Cost-wise, how much does it cost to install this type of AV system into a house like this?
So, without trying to be too unhelpful, it of course depends on how much kit you put in.
Yeah.
As a developer, I look at it as a backbone system, which then if someone really wants to go and put all the bells and whistles in, then they can go and do that. They don't have to start
punching holes and creating chasing in the walls.
Exactly. So you can go, so with the setup now in terms of the infrastructure, you can put anything you want, anything at all, right? Whether you want, this is already kind of like a home cinema type setup. We've got the speakers in the ceiling, but if someone wants to go completely berserk and have like 12 speakers all around and all that stuff, they can.
Electric blinds,
Exactly,
linked, yeah.
Exactly,
cool.
Exactly. So, we've got the basics, lighting, heating, audio, CCTV,
Cool.
and doorbell. That sort of system, the basics, is in this house is 50k.
Yeah. And is there an app on your phone for this type of thing as well?
Exactly.
Yeah. So wherever you are, you can control it and have sight of everything.
Yeah. And we could also connect the alarm to that, but we don't for security reasons. It's safer to
I see.
not have it connected.
As in someone can hack into.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Got it. Amazing. So we're on the first half landing is probably the best way of explaining it.
There's no good description for what this floor is called.
But this is one of the things we did to add maximum square footage. We talked about downstairs trying to split the levels as much as you could to get the head height to add additional floor in, and this is kind of one of the great areas that we've managed to do that. So we've got 2 bedrooms here. I can't actually remember where we ended up. We've got 2 en suites as well. Both en suites. So 2 doubles, 2 en suites. How does this space work for you?
Yeah, it works really well. Of course, as you said, like we're trying to maximise square footage. These would probably be children's bedrooms, both en suite. One even has a terrace, and yeah, just the space works exactly as we wanted.
Would like to see that terrace.
Sure.
It's a miserable day out there, but it is a lovely space, and in the summer, I imagine this is, incredible. Very nice.
It's a nice aspect of the garden.
Cool. So up to probably the most incredible space in this house, which is the principal bedroom. I know we had a lot of fun designing this with various different guises, different ways of laying out the room.
Yes.
I think the way that it's ended up is incredible. This is obviously one huge, massive space, which is purely the bedroom area. We've got a seating area at the front. So we've got these 2 windows letting loads of light in. And all of the rest of the principal bedroom is up here, which we'll see in a minute. We've got the walk-in wardrobe and then the 4-piece massive bathroom. Let's have a look at the walk-in wardrobe. Well, more than a walk-in wardrobe, walk-in room. What do you call it? Dressing area.
Yeah. So.
And this is where you said the joinery here is more bespoke, more high-end finish.
Correct. Yeah. So what I say to people is that the joinery in here was the same cost as all of the secondary bedroom joinery.
Yeah. And you can see, that the finish is just incredible. It's like a textured kind of woven linen finish. Yeah. Corsten again, or just by the same manufacturer.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think people. So this is from Neatsmith.
Okay.
I think.
Are you allowed to say how much it cost in here? Keep that a secret.
Yeah, that one has to stay under wraps. But people don't really. People, I think when they walk in and they see and they start to feel and open the doors, they don't really know why, but they get the sense of the expense that has been spent.
Yeah.
And it comes from the thickness of the doors,
even the shelves,
the types of the hinges, the thickness of the shelves.
Yeah.
Right? These are the kind of things that people just don't know, but make the difference.
Yeah, and this linen finish is basically throughout. It's not like a different carcass. Everything is this linen finish, which looks incredible.
So it seems.
Yeah. Very nice. Cool. And yes, I remember coming into this room where it was a bare shell. Couldn't wait to see the finished product. So I'm excited to come into here.
Go on, after you.
Thank you.
So this was probably the most nervous room on plan.
Yeah.
This was the most nervous.
Because of the heights and the roof slope.
It was scary. It looked like how is this going to work? How is it going to feel?
Yep.
But actually,
it works.
It really works.
Works well.
It really works. It feels so spacious. We recognize
so much light.
So much light. We recognise that, of course, we want to keep ourselves central to the room, and so you guys designed this central
just help to break up the space and give a backdrop for the sink, and yeah, I think it works really well. Did you go for a double shower?
No,
single shower?
Yeah. But back to that. This breaks up the space perfectly, and now it just feels incredibly spacious.
Nice. So this part of the building was part of the two-story sort of rear extension. So we've got the bedroom below us with the terrace, and then this is the the roof space of that two-story element. And that was again part of maximising the massing at planning approval, seeing what the neighbours have done with the size of the extensions next door, and then trying to push the boundaries as much as possible to get you as much square footage as possible in the property. It worked really well.
I think actually the most positive part of the design process was your input on this outrigger, because before we would try and extend the outrigger, but we kept its size in reference to the rest of the building the same. And here actually we applied just to make it half the size of the total, which they're usually not. And to my surprise, it was
approved. Yeah, we actually didn't really have many hiccups. I think the only difficulties we had was with highways and the car parking out the front, but eventually, that we negotiated how that was going to work, and they were happy with the end product. So it's great when planning applications go through first time and you don't have to pull your hair out, which I normally do, but that's part of the job.
I think at some stage there was the idea to possibly screen it off, or screen the toilet area off.
Yeah, I think we did actually, screening that off. We did discuss that.
But it felt like it may interrupt the flow.
Yeah. So as part of the main works to this project, we got planning approval at the end of the garden to build this multifunctional space. So gym, home office, studio, whatever you want to use it for, fully fitted out with a kitchen, with oven, hob, sink, fridge, freezer, and an ensuite here as well. So a fantastic flexible space to be used by the family. So Aura achieved planning approval here to convert what was a semi-detached block of 3 flats. We extended the basement into the garden space, 2-story extension to the rear, single-story infill to the right with an amazing roof light, and created 4,500 square feet of space. So the total time frames from start to finish, from putting a spade in the ground to being a completed property like we see behind me, was 18 months. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more site tours, head over here.